Hello and welcome to Estuary TV News with me, James Dunn. In the headlines today, how criminals have targeted recycling centres, and we talk about what end-of-life care is really about. But first, here's Dan Kemp with the headlines.
Hello, in the headlines today, we look at an event to promote the importance of mental health awareness, the start of East Riding of Yorkshire Council's Hate Crime Awareness Week, and a local musician concerned about the possible closure of Grimsby's Central Hall. But first, North East Lincolnshire Council is encouraging more people to sign up to its car sharing scheme. It has been running for a few years and has between 700 and 800 users. The plan to extend the scheme comes as a phase of roadworks on Grimsby's main roads will bring more traffic to main routes in the town, something the council wants to ease. There are other benefits too. Anthony Snell, the Chief Transport Officer with Cofally, claims car sharing would reduce traffic and costs for motorists.
Ideally, if everyone car shared, it'd be marvellous. But if you think about the fact that if everyone car shared just one day a week, so that would be in essence a 20% reduction in the number of vehicles that were on the road every day for everyone else. Now that's just one day a week. For most people, if you can save £300–400 a year just by sharing your journey to and from work with another person, I think most people would go, well, yeah, okay, that's fair enough.
A man was struck by a vehicle after walking away from his own car, which had left the road. A silver Vauxhall Corsa left the road near Mantham, and the single occupant of the car started to walk towards Curtin Lindsay. The 24-year-old man was then hit by a blue BMW at around 6 AM on the B1398 and is in Hull Royal Infirmary with potential life-threatening injuries. Homicide police are urging potential witnesses to come forward. The importance of mental health awareness was being discussed at an event at Grimsby's Floral Hall. Navigo held the event to promote awareness and give the public, sufferers and carers the opportunity to meet with the different services that Navigo provides and have their say on the provision of mental health care. Pat Moorline is the clinical lead occupational therapist with Navigo.
The public, the service users and carers to have their say about how groups develop. We're looking at the range of activities that we offer and just getting the word out there that we've got things that we can offer people.
People don't always know what's out there in the community, and if half a dozen people come in and get the relevant information about where they could go for support and help with any problems or issues they might have, it's a worthwhile cause.
Saturday sees the start of Hate Crime Awareness Week. East Riding of Yorkshire Council are encouraging victims to come forward and report crimes that could be construed in such a way. Crimes of this sort could include assault or arson, and equally noise nuisance or property damage. A performer set to entertain crowds at Grimsby's Central Hall has spoken out about the potential closure of the venue. Local artist and pianist Cameron Richardson Eames, who is performing in a sellout concert at the venue later this year, has said the loss of this unique venue would be damaging to upcoming musicians missing out on a unique performance opportunity.
I can't really think of a comparable performance space. I mean, obviously the auditorium is much bigger and it doesn't have the same sort of acoustic setup, which means that the repertoire that they perform is obviously very different. I have a lot of very fond memories of the hall from when I was playing in youth orchestras and things when I was younger, particularly the last night of the Proms concert. And what worries me is that people who may wish to follow in the same footsteps as I did as a musician won't have those kinds of formative experiences when they're still at school.
More male volunteers are needed to run activities for older men who often find it harder to adapt to retirement than women. That's according to Age UK, who we spoke to at a special advice day for older people at Cleethorpes Memorial Hall. Women traditionally make more effort to maintain social groups, while men often find they lose ties when they retire. But if more men were to get involved in running activities for older people, it's hoped that it would encourage others to attend.
The men struggle because I don't think that they keep those social contacts that they made at work. Quite often it's women in families, the grandma, that keeps all the contacts going. So I think that's why, and there are lots of things for women and not so many things that is men only. If men were to become involved as volunteers themselves, they can have a voice and say, this is what we want to do.
Scunthorpe United have sacked their manager Russ Wilcox with immediate effect. He leaves the Iron with just 2 league wins to their name so far and languishing 1 place from the bottom of League One. And that's all for me. Bye for now.
Thank you, Dan. Now, one man's trash is another man's treasure, and it's the truth that has led to new investment in recycling centres in North Lincolnshire to stop them falling victim to criminals. I went along to find out more. The tit trip, a great British tradition like queuing or moaning about the weather. And just like them, it's a necessary evil, but it's always much worse over bank holiday. But for some dishonest traders, it's a free ride, and one they'll take as often as possible.
We collect more waste per head in North Lincolnshire than our neighbouring authorities, and one of the reasons put down to that is the act of businesses and commercial operators bringing in waste into our recycling centres, pretending that they're normal householders. Somebody who had a permit to come on here with his commercial vehicle, so that was all perfectly proper. But when we investigated it, we found he was, for a period of time, he was coming on almost once every 5 days, and then he dropped to almost once every 3 days. And across those visits, he would be bringing multiple beds, kitchen furniture. So he was doing house clearances. You know, the guy lived in a 2-bedroomed house. He's not, you know, refurbishing his house every 2 weeks to generate that amount of waste coming out of his own house.
The scrap deposited here is worth hundreds of thousands of pounds a year to the council, and that value has unfortunately led to even more serious threats.
We've had situations where a group in a vehicle have turned up, threatened the operator on the site and told him to get out of the way, while they then raid through our scrap metal skip and other valuable items as well, and then steal it off the site basically. But that's why we've made some of the improvements that we've done as part of the new refurbishment programme.
But Northern Lincolnshire Council is investing £650,000 into their recycling centres. As well as necessary maintenance, the money will pay for vehicle recognition cameras to catch those abusing the system, and CCTV so those threatening staff and stealing can be recognised by police.
We are going to target the individual businesses themselves, and that's what our improvements are designed to do.
And as well as cracking down on those abusing things, they're introducing permits so people with signed vans can use the sites to clear their own homes.
We don't normally allow sign-written hire vans onto the site. We will allow that, so in conjunction with the hire agreement from the company and our permit, somebody can come, hire a van, deal with a bereaved relative's household, or their own household if they're doing a major overhaul of their own property, and can come up to 2 occasions for twice a year.
It's a big investment, but it costs money to recycle people's rubbish, and if businesses don't pay, it's you or I that foots the bill.
What we're hoping it'll do is mean that more of the waste coming through here is from genuine householders, and through that then that should possibly help us run more efficiently and save some money somewhere. By not subsidising these businesses who are acting illegally, then yes, it will have a positive effect for North Lincolnshire.
James Dunn, Estuary TV News. Next on the show, many people still think that a hospice is somewhere you go to die, but this week is Hospice Care Week, so I spoke to some staff who explained that there's so much more. So here with me today I've got Chloe Orton and Lynn Andrews from St Andrews Hospice. Thanks very much for talking to me. Now Chloe, we'll start with you. This is all about showing what hospice care is, and what do you do?
The Children's Unit offers care for children and young adults from 0 to 25. We also work in transitional care as well, so the 25-year-olds can move into adult services. We offer respite care that can be anything from a couple of days to a week, more if needed. Daycare, respite as well from the hours of 9 till 4. We offer symptom control management, end-of-life care and any crisis care that's needed.
I think often people think of hospices as somewhere where they spend their final moments, but what you're saying is it's actually more than that.
Yeah, definitely. We have children here who will be referred to us from the neonatal unit, so as babies, and we can have them even discharging them at 25 years old, so it's not in the last final days of life. We can be with us for quite a while.
And so here what you offer is a lot more than medical care.
Definitely, there's a good family support group. For the children themselves, they get time to come here. It can be a little holiday. We go trips out, They see the physiotherapist here, speech and language. Also reach out to the families, so we do a caterpillar group, which is the sibling group, so any children that are here with us, the brothers and sisters can come, and also any children that have died here, the brothers and sisters are still welcome to come to that, as well as family support reaching out to the families, so any social needs, whether it's financial problems or anything like that, we do support them through that as well.
Now, there's nothing sadder than poorly children. I think people will agree it's a very emotive issue. But for you, people who deal with this scenario, this situation every day, how do you deal with that? Or do you find a positive way to see it?
Completely. You have to look at the positive side. We have a lot of children here who are very vulnerable but are not actively dying. So the days are brilliant. We have loads of fun days. If you can see around, we're filled with toys, the ball pool, games, there's always music. So day to day, it is a fun, happy environment to be in. The kids absolutely love it, and it is all about making memories. So the majority of the time, it's a good laugh. If they are having a short life, you have to make it the best life that they're going to have. So it is a good honour really that we get to be involved in that care, and families allow us to do that, so we can build up relationships with the families, make those memories with them, and everybody can take away a positive from that.
So Lynn, you deal with the older person's side of things. How does what you offer differ from what Chloe's been talking about?
Well, in some ways it's very similar, but in other ways it's very different. We have 8 inpatient beds. When we get our new building, hopefully that will see an increase to 12 inpatient beds. We also offer day services. We provide care similar to the children's, that we offer respite care, but we predominantly provide care for people who require either symptom control, or those who have chosen the hospice to be their preferred place of care for their end of life. So we do provide care at the end of life, but also a lot of our care is around treating people with life-limiting illnesses for over a period of time.
Now, this is a very well-known and respected hospice in this area, but I think nationally there may be a perception that hospices are somewhere where you go to die. Can they be more than that?
Oh, absolutely, and you're right. Even locally, some people still believe that when they hear the word hospice, that means that their end of life is imminent. That's absolutely not the case. For those that come into our inpatient beds, over 2/3 of those patients will go home. They may come back again at some point if that's where they choose to end their life. But as I say, 2/3 of our patients come and go quite regularly for either respite care or for symptom control while they're experiencing specific problems. And at the same time, coinciding with that, we're running the daycare services, so we have 50, 60, 70 people at a time on our books who are coming through for regular daycare services.
And I imagine that somewhere like this can really take the pressure off families who are dealing with someone with sometimes very complex needs.
Oh, absolutely, because it's not just about the nursing care that we provide, it is very holistic, the care that we're looking to achieve, and alongside the nurses and the doctors who work here, we also have a huge team supporting us in terms of providing family support. We have chaplaincy who will support with spiritual advice and support. We have complementary therapy, and we also have creativity, where we look to help people who want to make memories to leave behind for families. So it's not just about the nurses and the doctors, there's a whole team here.
Well, unfortunately, we ran out of time, but it was great to talk to those inspirational ladies who look after people when they really do need it. I'm afraid that that's actually all we've got time for on the show today, but if you've got anything you want to share with us, get in touch via social media. You can call us on Grimsby 31553 or email us on news@estuary.tv. Bye for now.